Welcome to Computer Hardware. This first video is an introduction to how the online part of our Moodle class works. And for some of you, you may have done all this before, and it may not be an introduction at all. And for some of you, it may be. At this point, when I'm making this video, I have no idea whether you'll be sitting in my classroom watching this or whether you're going to be at home watching this as school gets started. So I thought it was really important that we're ready for anything. So let's talk about the Moodle class. If you've never used Moodle before, or if you haven't had a teacher who used it a lot, I use the default theme. This is the new 2020-2021 default theme that's in here right now. Wherever we are, that section will be highlighted. So you can see a different color for where it says Course Overview, Class Introduction, then Chapter 1, Chapter 2. Now, if you're looking at it in your class, if you haven't done anything yet, all you're going to see is Course Overview. You're also not going to see any of these sections in the table of contents or down here on the left-hand side of the screen because my course is gamified, meaning that things appear when it's time for them to appear, when you've done something. So I'm going to kind of show you what that means and how that works by looking at the Course Overview section. Now, when you go into the Course Overview, this is kind of the contact information, the background information, a lot of stuff about how things work in our class. In fact, it's an example of all the following chapters as an introduction. That's an introduction. So as we go in here, you are not going to see anything the first time you come here other than the top thing that says I Can Intro. Every one of my sections is based on the I cans of that particular part of the course, meaning that by the end of that section, you should be able to say, I can do this and this and this. So the first thing we do in the class is for every single section, is to read the I cans so that you know what we're trying to get across by this part of the course. And if you look to the right of that, right here, you see a little dashed box that right now has a check mark in it. Dashed boxes means you have to have done the right thing to complete it. And when it's complete, it has a little check mark in it. And that check mark then is used by other things to make them visible. So when I click on I Can Intro, I click on that and it loads up and it says these are the things that we want to see you learn during this section. I can explain the classroom emergency procedures, I can explain the classroom rules, I know how Moodle works, and I can explain the course syllabus to a parent along with the course expectations. Because that's 4 things we're trying to get out of there. And when we come back to the class and that's checked, now you'll see this next thing, the class introduction self-assessment. That's something you're going to do at the beginning of every single class as we're in a section. So I know where you say you are. So you come into the self-assessment and it's just the I cans with the yes and no. Where you say, it says, I can explain the classroom rules. And you say, right now, no. And that's okay. But once you submit it, this will be checked that you have taken it once. And then you'll go back and change your answers as the course proceeds so that I know what you think you know. Because what I don't want to do in any part of the course is to give it a test where you say, or 90% of the students, even worse, say, I don't know that I can. Well, why would I give you a test on material that you all don't feel like you understand? So that's the whole point of the self-assessment. So it lets me know where you think you are. So once you take that self-assessment, you'll see the introduction to the hardware class. So you get the idea. Things appear and disappear as you proceed on in the course. Now, some of these things, like where it says chapter instruction, it might say chapter reading, the wording's not the same everywhere. I'm not expecting you to go into there and just sit there and read that book. What you will see in the calendar, which there isn't anything because it's July, right? In the calendar, it will say things like it'll have a link to an activity, and the activity may be to go into here. So if we go into here, you can see this sections book is broken down to a number of chapters. Or sections. So in this book, there's a table of contents, and in there, I have a little talk like this one on my background. I have one on my philosophy. I have one on my expectations. And I'm not going to ask you to do them all in a row necessarily, especially in a real chapter, not the classroom introduction. But you're going to go and you're going to watch that video, and then you're going to take a quiz. And sometimes the quiz is, did you watch that video? And you say yes. It's just verification, so I know you watched all the way through it. And you'll see if we hover on these videos that they're not super long. This one's 6 minutes and 47 seconds. And my objective is to keep them as close to 5 minutes as I can, and to never go past 15 minutes. Sometimes they do. And usually those have a stop somewhere in them where you ask or you answer a couple questions there to see that you understand what's been gone over. So this is what a Moodle book looks like. It has video, links, text in there, and you'll see assignments to read or watch or listen to certain sections of the book. And sometimes the activity or the assignment will be to go watch this, and then go find this, or go read this, or go answer these, like a traditional classroom activity. But if we're online, all those things are going to be online. You're going to have assignments to go there, watch that, answer these, so that we move on really in the same way that we would if we're in class. The difference being is that I'm talking at you, which is unfortunate if that's the way it all works. But if I do my job well, there shouldn't be a huge difference between this class being 100% online and 100% in class. The only difference, the main difference, is going to be the lack of hands-on that you're going to get breaking down and putting together PCs, which no matter what happens in the fall, I am really hopeful that by the springtime, we're all together, and I will modify the way we do the class. We'll take a month and just be breaking down and putting together, and you will catch up on all that hands-on time that you may missed. So these are Moodle activities, and then you'll see down here there are questions. Did you take the classroom tour? That's a choice. There's a syllabus review quest, and then as you do things in my class, as these things get checked off, you'll get awarded badges for doing things, and in particular in later chapters for doing things well. The badges can be related to grades. They don't have to be related to grades. They can be related to all kinds of things. So that's the way my class works. You're going to see things appear automatically based on those check marks. And if you're like, I did that, and there's no check next to it, maybe you didn't do it all the way. Or maybe I haven't graded it yet. In the case of the things that we see here, there's no grade, but there are assignments that I have to grade before you see the next thing, which is why it's important that we stay on track with when things are due, because if we come into class to do something, or we're online to do something, and you haven't done the previous thing, you won't be able to participate in that particular activity that we have planned for that day. I want to point out some other things. This is where my contact information is. You can see my email address up there, bpool@nationaltrail.us. If you need to email me or contact me with questions, I will also have a forum. I don't know where the forum went. I must have hidden that. That will be available for you to ask questions asynchronously, like when you have a question, then I'll answer it later. And then also this link right here is something new that none of you have used. It's called Big Blue Button. When you click on that, if we do classes online or have meetings online, which we will do if we don't have class in person, then you'll be able to come here and just join it. You just click Join Session. I'll go ahead and show you how that works. You hit Join Session, and Big Blue Button opens up on our server at Trail, and you say, yeah, I want to either listen only. I would say microphone. It does a little sound test, and when that sound test is done, you hit yes. You got the sound, and then we would see each of you over here on the left-hand side. We have a chat. I can share a screen. We can use a digital whiteboard together. I can record it all, just like as if we were recording the classroom going on. And then when I'm done with that recording, see if I can close this. When I'm done with that recording, it will then later on be available here after a little while for you to be able to just click on and watch the recording down here, and you'll see me, my camera, whatever that is, and whatever I did in the class as well as an option there. And that's what that hardware online is, and they'll be, the most current one will always be up top, and I can name them. That's something that we're going to be using especially for online, for meeting times with question and answers to do the class. So that's basically how it works. Wow, I went way over my anticipated time there. That's how Moodle works, and I really want you guys to ask questions as we go along so that we, no matter how this class is done, that you get out of it what you paid for. You signed up for a computer hardware class, and I hope that by the end you will know just as much if we have to use a lot of virtual environment as we would if we did all in-place teaching.